Hello, I'm Rachel Piper with Size Diverse Pilates, and today we're going to do a slow flow level one reformer. The props that I have today are my wooden pole that came with my reformer. If you don't have one, hardware store, really, really good. I will say that I do like a little bit of the larger grip and maybe not the broom handle size. We have a resistance band here. I have a Pro Slant wedge. It's a wedge or a slant, Pro Slant from OPTP. I'm not affiliated with them, but I did get a 2-pack on Amazon, and this is by far, I think, my favorite wedge that I've been on. And then we have a sticky pad. Yay. So we have all of the things that we need. You're also going to, so I have wooden handles. I know a lot of reformers maybe don't have the wooden handles and they have the double straps. That's fine. If I'm using the handle, it's going to be your long strap. If I switch to this right here for any reason, this would be your shorter strap. When I put my, I will call them my loops on for like I think our third exercise, that would be equivalent to your long strap. Okay, so when I put these on, these pineapples on, that'll be your long strap. Okay, and I'll try and call that out as well. Headrest up unless it's more comfortable for you to have it down. You always have an option there. We're going to take the wooden pole, and this is for those in a larger body who cannot fit their hands next to them on the carriage, or in general, if you want to feel a little bit more of your arm back connection, this is for you. Okay, so you're going to take your pole with you. You're going to be on 3 to 4 heavy springs or 3 to 4 springs of your choice. Again, like with everything, you have the ability to choose your Pilates practice. So if you know that you can find a better connection with a different spring setting than what I have, then you should do that. Plus, I have pretty much 5 heavy springs. One is a little bit less heavy. Maybe it's more of a medium, but other than that, I have pretty much all heavy springs on. So I'm just going to call out 4 or 2 or 1, and that's it. Okay. If normally, I just want to start by saying, if normally you aren't able to get your hands on the carriage at all, and you are holding your hands here because you want to put them somewhere, this or the resistance band is for you because we're really missing out on strengthening the arm back connection and our back muscles when we have to have our hands here. And so I've been letting the studios I work with know that if somebody has to put their hands here because they're not comfortable, that grabbing a pole or a resistance band and just having them put it under, equal it out so that someone can hold wide and get that connection is so much more helpful. And then they are getting all of the benefits of having their arms on the mat. Now, the pull for sure is much better than the resistance band, but at least with the resistance band, you can actively pull out a little bit and engage some muscles. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to have this here. I'm going to have my knuckles reaching forward and I'm going to press down a little bit. Heels together, toes apart. You're going to reach out and then come back in. So I always say like the first couple are just um, a way for us to gather information on what's going on in our bodies, how our bodies are feeling. Whew, if we pick the right spring setting, if we pick the right gear, all of that stuff. So nice big inhale out and exhale in. Tailbone and hips are heavy. You're trying to reach those low ribs toward the mat, and we can do that a little bit with our breath. So as we inhale wide, we also inhale back into the mat, and then we exhale our waistband into the mat on the way back in. Shoulders are nice and wide. You can press those arms in. If you have the pull, you're just going to lightly press out and maybe press down a little bit. Last one out and in. And we're doing 10-ish of each of these. Bring the legs up together. This is our connection work. So our transitions are so important that we should try and play with that a little bit more. where you're trying to keep the body down on the carriage, lift the feet, bring the legs together, and place the arches on the foot bar. Then curl the toes under and reach the heels under. And again, you're going to go out and come back in 10 times, focusing on the breath, pressing the back of the head, top of the back of the head into your headrest, just to create some space, create some length in your neck as you open up the shoulders. Reaching those into those feet. Just pressing down into your pull here if you have your pulls. Otherwise, you should be pressing those arms lightly into your carriage. Last one, we're going to come in for that transition. So you're going to pause here, lift those feet up together, and place the heels on. Toes reach up toward the ceiling, and they're going to stay reaching up towards the ceiling as we press out and come back in. And I have to move my feet a little bit. There we go. Sometimes it's like you really need to make sure you get your heels in the right position when you're doing this one. Reach it out. Toes stay lifted. That way we're opening up the space in our ankle and then pulling back in. It's as if we are pushing against a wall and then staying against that wall. Nice big breaths. Let's do last one. Come on in. You're going to lift the feet up together and try and put the balls of the feet on your foot bar. Heels stay lifted. I'm going to do parallel today. If you like Pilates V, you can do that. Take yourself out. Reach the heels under and then pull them up. Reach them under and then pull them up. So you can continue to do this, playing around with your breath a little bit. How wide can you get your ribs? How much can you fill your lungs? And maybe feel a stretch in the back side of your body. Last one. Reach it down, reach it up, bend the knees, and come on in. We can take this pull out. I'm going to play around a little bit with a different variation. You know what? I lied. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because then we'd have to change our spring set. All right, grab your handles. So this would be your long straps. If you like your short straps, you can. Put your foot bar down, and we'll just reach those legs out nice and long. Hands are reaching up toward the ceiling. I like to wiggle my fingers so that I try and let go of all the tension before I come into my 100. Nice big inhale here. On your exhale, you're going to come into your upper up curl and lift the legs. Come into your 100 position and start pumping. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Reach in those legs. Nice wide collarbones, shoulders. You can do a fist here. I like to reach my fingers like I'm shooting little lasers out. Reach those legs away from you. And again, you can change your position of your legs if you need to. You can also do the regular 100. You don't have to do this one. Try and curl up. Really reach into those straps. Last breath. And bring it in. Go ahead and bring yourself up. I'm going to hang up my straps. We're going to come up and go ahead and just do 2 springs. So 2 of your favorite springs. And then if you already have long straps, you're all set. If not, I'm going to do leg circles and frog is what we're aiming for here. Just to warm up. So I have to change my handles out. We're going to lie back down. Headrest can still be up. You're on 2 springs of your choice. Maybe a heavy and a light, or maybe 2 mediums. Whatever feels good to you. Go ahead and lie back. See if you can lift, and this is not quite beginner, but see if you can lift both feet up. I like to put my heels together, reach in, and put your feet in the straps at the same time. And let's just start with frog. I like starting with frog today. So heels together, toes apart, reach the legs out and pull them back in. You have your tailbone nice and heavy the whole time here. And again, if for some reason you have to be here, you can always grab that pull and hold that pull wide if your carriage isn't quite wide enough for you. This is a really good prep, and the reason that you're going to want to use that pull and start working on that back strength is when we start doing things like overhead, short spine, all of those exercises, you need to be able to press your arms in to bring your legs up and over. That was probably about 8 or so. Let's reach out and let's just do little circles. Little circles out here. We'll do 5 each way. You can be in parallel or you can be in Pilates B. I'm in Pilates B. And then we'll switch and do 5 circles the other way. And you can continue and you can play around with any leg exercises you want to here. Honestly, it's really good work, but it's also gentle. We also get a stretch and a strength. Put the heels together, bring them back in. We're going to do frog circles. So reach the heels up. You're in your turnout. You're going to take the legs out, press them down, heels come together, then bend the legs in. Reach it up, tailbone stays down. Open the legs, come down, pull them in. Reach up, out, bring them down, and come in. Then we're going to switch for 3. Press the legs out, come up, in, turn out. Once the heels come together, bend the legs down. Reach it out, circle it, heels together, bend it down. Last one here. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and take those off. Hang them up or flip them back in the back, whatever is good for you. As you come up, you're going to put your foot bar up, add some springs. Traditionally, at least in the work that I do, it's 4 springs for our stomach massage. I'm going to go ahead and switch these out right now for later. Toss them in the well. All right, here's where you're going to need the rest of your props. We're going to do all of the props at once, it seems like. I'm going to come to the back here so you can see. So with stomach massage and stomach massage setup, you may need to gear out to make it comfortable. Probably everybody needs a sticky pad, depending on the pants you're wearing. And then we have this wedge. You're going to want to place the wedge somewhere where you know that you can get your legs up and be on your sacrum about right here so that you can have that C-shaped spine. Now, if you have trouble reaching the front of the carriage, this one is for you. You're going to take your resistance band. I'm just going to bring my legs over and see if I'm in almost the right position here. You're going to take your resistance band over equally on both sides. And then from here, my wedge, I think, is in an okay place. You're going to pick your feet up and you're going to put it on your resistance band and make sure that you can press your feet into it and that you can grab this. So I'm going to bring my legs up and then I have to widen and then bring them down. So from here, we get to have this nice C shape. It's almost like rolling like a ball right here. From here, you have to press in, keep those heels together. The arms get to stay wide. You get to lower, lift, and then bring yourself in. Reach out, lower, lift, bring yourself in. So if you have trouble and it just feels So uncomfortable to try and reach the front of the carriage. This right here will strengthen your back, will help you be in your C shape and just feel comfortable. There are definitely ways for us to feel comfortable in our work and still be connected. Connectedness does not mean uncomfortable. It just doesn't. Like, you can be comfortable and connected. Then next one, take a spring off. This will be a little bit slow on our part, but we're going to take that back. You can always practice this a little bit faster. I meant to put this back behind me. Okay, bring the legs up. So normally I would have that there and I would just leave it. And then you can take your arms back, reach the knuckles down, reach your heart forward, drop down to 3 springs, lower lift, come back in. Reach your heart up towards the sky. You can be as wide as you need to here, which makes it a little bit comfortable. Also helps people who have some shoulder stuff going on, like my husband. He can reach his chest forward and then he can be nice and wide, and then it doesn't hurt his old injury that he had surgery on. And bring it in. Then from here, you can still keep the pull if you want to. Take a spring off. The pull or resistance band is nice here because it gives you something right here to hold on to. Reach the chest forward, press out, and come back in. Press out and come back in. We're doing 8 of these. Now, if this is too uncomfortable and you have the ability this whole time, I should have said this at the beginning, my apologies. If this is too comfortable high, you can always take your foot bar lower if you have one that will allow you to go lower. Come back in. Otherwise, what I have done for a couple people is I've just put this down and they can't do the lower and lift, but they can come here and reach out and come back in. It's a little bit too low. You can also come to the front of the wood here and reach out and come back in. Now, I would lighten the spring if you were going to do that. Let's go ahead and do our twist because we're here. So we'll come back into it. So we were just here. So we're going to press out. We're going to reach out and come back in. We're going to do 3 each side. One more. Reach it and come back in. Reach and come back in. Then you can always stretch if you want to. Go ahead and come off there. Foot bar comes down for short box. Add some springs so your carriage doesn't move. And then we're all done with these. Headrest comes down. And grab the pole. Put the pole underneath the strap. This is my number 1 tip. Hold it there, and then you can remove the pole, and your feet are underneath the strap. Really, really nice. Okay, short box. Oh, I love short box so much. So here's the thing with short box. You need to make sure you have a hand's width behind you so that your sacrum has a place to go when you're going back into the work. From here, the feet and the strap. If you have the ability to put your feet on the wood, most of the time you want to do that, but you can lose access to the back of your body if you're pressing your feet forward. You can gain more access to the back of your body when your feet are flexed. So I highly recommend that if you can, that you have your feet underneath your strap, you pull out on it and you keep those feet flexed. Then I always like to tell people we can be here or we can turn on our butts and be here. And the idea is that we want to engage here and stay engaged here for all of these exercises. So it's like you are lifted tall and you are pressing those legs out like crazy. Then from here, we get to round our low back for our round. Come back and come forward. And as you go back, you might be able to keep your butt connection, but sometimes you want to lose it on the way up. It's almost like you have to reactivate, engage. Last one. Come back and come forward. We can always go into extension another day. Reset yourself if you need to. Sometimes when you actively engage the back of the body, your body moves a little bit between positions. Grab your pull. You're going to be here, and then you're going to be taller. Reach out into those feet. Little bit of a round in your lumbar spine. Then from there, you get to hinge back and come forward. Hinge and come forward. So this is our flat, and we do 5. Keep the back body engaged. Last one. And reach it up. Just those 2. That's all we have to do for level 1. Trust me, I would do them all every single time. You can ask anybody who takes my reformer stuff. Go ahead, take the short box off. Put it down to the side. 2 springs for elephant. Footrest comes up. For this one, since it's just level 1 and we're not already in it, just make sure that you press away on your foot bar. I always like to have my fingers reaching as I step up. Again, 2 springs. You want to be in a place that you can have alignment from your knee all the way up to your hip. So for me, I'm geared out right now, so my feet are closer. If I came back here, I can't get my hips back there, and then all of my weight are on the front of my feet. We want to be able to have the hips over the ankles, and we want to be able to reach the toes up. We want to be able to press in the ball of the big toe, the ball of the pinky toe, and the heel. We're using our heels to actively push us back, push the carriage back. So from here, I'm going to reach my waistband and my low ribs up. I'm going to stand in my hands just as much as my feet. It's almost equal weight. So as I stand in my hands, I can press the carriage back and pull it in. And it's the in, exhale, that really matters. Reach it, exhale it in. Reach those ribs up towards the ceiling, head gets to hang. Reach it and pull it in. Reach back and pull in. Let's do 2 more. We usually do 8. 1 bonus, because that's just feeling so good. Then when you come off, make sure that you press down on the foot bar and step off. Then we can come to our knees, same spring setup. We're going to put the ball of our foot down, reach the heels back for our knee stretches. So we get to come in, and this is an extremely common shape. We've seen it multiple times now. We saw it in our stomach massage. We saw it in our short box, in our elephant, and here we are. So you're going to press into those arms. You're going to round your back. You're going to take the legs back and pull them in. Ribs are still reaching back to the corner of the room. We're going to do 8. Pull it in, press it out. Pull it in, press it out. Last one. We come in. We just change the shape. We come into extension. We press out. We pull back in. You're still pressing into those arms. It's the in that matters. Pull it in. Pull it in. We have 8 here as well. 2 more. Add at least 1 spring, if not 2, for running. Come off to the side, sit on your carriage, and lie back. Just 2 more exercises. For running, if you want to put your headrest up for comfort, you can. Also, if you want to grab your pole because you want to press into your carriage, feet are in parallel on the balls of the feet. Press yourself out. Lower one heel as the opposite knee lifts. And then you switch. Nice big inhales and exhales. You're long in your neck. You're staying nice and steady in the hips. Nice equal weight no matter which knee you're lifting. It's a 20 count. So 20 each leg. Lift up, bend the knees, bring yourself home, take the legs out to the sides. Headrest can go down. We're going to do our pelvic lift or bottom lift or hip lift, depending on what school you went to. You're going to be in your tall spine here. So as you lift, you almost have to think that as you lift the hips, only about a fist, that you are pressing your tailbone down. So you stay in that tall spine. Some people call it neutral. Reach out and pull back in. My reformer makes a lot of noise with the springs. Let me do 5 to 8 here. So let's do one more. Reach it out, pull back in, and then bring yourself down. Now let's go ahead and do a little stretch to end, since that was our last one. Come down to 2 of your lighter springs. Place your inside leg on the carriage, heels reaching back. Front leg is all the way to the front of the carriage. Your hips are squared. And you're just going to press both legs back equally. And then come back in. Hips stay squared. This is Eve's lunge. Just 3 each side. Reach back. And then come back in. Now, if you're sliding on that front leg, you may want to put a pad. I know I was sliding a little bit here. Inside leg. Heel reaches back against the shoulder block. Front leg comes forward so we can square those hips and shoulders. Press both back and then pull back in. Lift the toes. If you tend to roll in or out on that foot, you may want to lift the toes so that you can get equal weight. Last one, which I think might be a bonus. And back in. And then you're all done. So that was our level 1 slow flow. I hope you enjoyed it. I plan on making a few more of those, a few more of these, so everybody can partake. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me and Instagram, or you can send me a quick email on how you liked this. Have a good day.